What's going on? This your boy, Chris Simmons, coming to you with another podcast episode on this beautiful Thursday evening, man. Man, I couldn't have asked for a better day today. I took advantage of this nice weather that we having today. I went out for a little bit earlier today. I went to go see my grandma, who I haven't seen in 5 months. So it was good to see my grandma. Looks like she's doing well. I mean, she is one of the healthiest 72-year-olds I've ever seen. I mean, she is moving. She was walking around today at the little outlet mall. Um, but before we hit that up, we hit up a brunch spot called Another Broken Egg. So down here in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is where I was born and raised. So I'm down here, visiting my family and stuff like that. My sister graduating next week from high school. So she's about to go to Miami University in Ohio, not Miami University in Florida. I wish it was that, but you know what? Hey, Miami, Ohio, will take that. So, I'm down here for a little bit. But yeah, it was good to see my grandma today. We went to a place called Another Broken Egg. I don't know if you ever been there. It is the bomb. I definitely recommend y'all get the chicken and waffles. Chicken and waffles, that's the go-to. That's why when I heard that they put it out here, I was like, man, we got to go there. So we hit that up. They got a lot more other stuff, but the chicken and waffles is the bomb. Now, I've had better than chicken waffles before, but that's probably like a close second to this other place called Gladys Knight's Chicken and Waffles, which used to be in Atlanta, Georgia. But something happened with that. I think somebody was stealing from somebody, so they had to shut that boy down. But anyway, I mean, the chicken and waffles at this place is real good, so I really enjoyed my time out and about today. And got to take advantage of this nice weather. Like I said, it's about 80, about 82, 83 degrees, mid 80s. I mean, I'll take that. I mean, it's the month of May, so yeah, I'm glad it's starting to warm up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm home for the very reason I told y'all last week that I was going to get the COVID-19 vaccination shot. I got my first dose on Tuesday. I'm feeling good. Um, Nothing really happened. I mean, my arm was a little sore. I could feel something over here. I got it in my left arm. Uh, but I'm doing good. I mean, I didn't really have no reaction, nothing like that, in case y'all was wondering, because I know that there's a lot of controversy going around this shot. I know I was like definitely not getting this shot. I was not trying to get it. But the very reason I got it, like I said on my last episode, I wanted to see my dudes in Philly, man. We going out to Philly in June the 11th. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to just put my pride to the side and just go ahead and get this boy. Now, was I a fan of it? No. I mean, I didn't really like it. But like I said, I had to do what I got to do, and I got it for the sole reason just to go out and see my dudes. But I'm not really against anybody who doesn't want to take it. I'm not really that type of person who's like, oh, you didn't get your shot. Oh, what's wrong with you? I ain't about that. You know what I'm saying? You got that choice to either get it or don't. But if you do get it, I recommend you get Pfizer. I'm gonna just tell y'all that right now. I was not gonna get no Johnson Johnson. I'm not getting that because I heard what they was doing with all that. I ain't be a part of that part of that group of people who was gonna experience with the blood class and all this other stuff. I'm not gonna do it. So Pfizer is probably my best. I mean, my recommendation. Now you can get what you want. I really don't care. But like I said, I mean, it's not too bad. It's just like a little poke in the arm. But hey, like I said, I mean, it's up to y'all. I mean, it's up to y'all. It's your choice. I'm not telling you you should get it. I'm telling you you should not get it. But it's up to y'all, to be honest. But I just thought I'd just let y'all know that that's what's been going on. It's been a pretty great week for me so far. And yeah, it's been enjoying life for real, for real. But anyway, we're gonna get right into today's show. I got a very special guest on today. She is a mental health coach from New York. I don't know if she's from New York City, but she's somewhere out there in New York, somewhere I've never heard of. But New York is a pretty big state from what I remember. So she might be somewhere, I don't know, on the north side, south side, east side. I don't know. I don't know if she's near the city, but she's somewhere in New York, which I've never heard of. But she is a type of person who likes to empower people in her community and is on a mission to help Black and Brown people, so people of color, heal all year long, which is what I really that really got me when I came across her page, and I said, you know what, I want to find out more about this. So we're gonna get into that today. But without further ado, let me introduce y'all to Miss Nelia Escobar. Did I say that right? Nelia? Is that it?
You didn't say it right. It's Nelia.
Okay, good. I want to make sure that I said your name right. Nelia. It's Nelia, right?
It's Nelia.
Nelia.
Yep.
So I did mess up. I'm sorry.
Didn't mess up. It's
So
okay.
Nelia Escobar. Okay, we got you. Nelia Escobar. How are we doing today, girl?
We're here. It is warm. So I'm from Long Island in New York. So I'm from like the border of Queens and Nassau, right there kind of thing. So it's warmer here. It's getting warmer. So I'm just trying to enjoy this warmth instead of, it gets cold here. I hate the cold, so just trying to enjoy it.
I'll be hearing that, man. I'll be hearing y'all be getting like feet. Y'all get like feet instead of inches. Y'all get like feet of snow. Is that?
Sometimes, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just cold. It's just cold.
Yeah, it is cold.
I'm ready for the summer. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's pretty much here, to be honest. I mean, it's almost Memorial Day. I mean, shoot. What you got planned for that?
It's different in this side, or at least in New York. Like it sometimes it can still be cold. It was cold last week here, so it just depends. Memorial Day, I don't know. I think I might spend it with family.
And barbecues.
Probably barbecue. Yeah.
Grills on the grill.
Yeah, probably a little barbecue. Nothing too crazy. I still gotta go to work the next day, so just low key.
Okay.
Low key. That's it.
But you get Monday off, right?
I get Monday off. Right.
Okay.
But then I gotta go back to work on Tuesday, so it can't be too much of a turn up, but figure it out. Maybe I'll go to brunch.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that earlier. We said, yeah, you could just go to brunch yourself. You can take yourself out.
100%.
I got some good places up there too.
They have great places over here. Great places, but they have good places in Philly too. But
yeah, see, that's the thing. I've never been to the city of Philly. Like I've been to Philadelphia because the people we've seen, they moved everywhere. We followed them everywhere. They moved like 6 times. The last place they was in Houston, Texas. But when I was younger, they used to live in Philly. I think when I was about 10, 11 years old. But I was disappointed we didn't go out. We just stayed in the house. I'm like, what? I'm like, Philly. I'm trying to get a Philly cheesesteak or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, go out and see the city.
Yeah, it's a fun place to be at. I haven't been there in a while, but it's still a good place to go.
Got you. I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully getting out and seeing the city. Now, New York. Now, I mentioned this. I've never been to New York.
Come through.
So I'm gonna have to, like I said, you might have to give me a tour for real. You might have to take me to New York City.
No, I'm the worst tourist ever, right? I personally haven't done all of what New York has to offer. So that is a plan of mine. It's a plan of mine I have like every year. Like I want to be a tourist, but obviously when I wanted to do it, COVID hit us, so I couldn't. But this year I might do some sightseeing and things. But yeah.
How long you lived in New York though?
My whole life.
Your whole life, you never really been to New York City.
I've been to. It's not like I haven't been. Been.
But you just never got the full experience. That's what you're saying.
I haven't done all of like the, like the World Trade Center, or the Empire State, or the Top of the Rock. Like I've never done those things. I've been to Rockefeller Center. Obviously, I used to work over there, or like the ice skating ring where they put the tree up. So there's a lot to do in the city though. So
yeah, man, we're gonna have to I might have to plan a trip out there, man. You know what I'm saying? I might have to come through and see you.
I feel like my friends would be like, I'm a fake New Yorker, but
that's all good. That's all good. Now, how far is Long Island from New York though? Is it pretty close to the city?
So I am on the border of Queens. Okay. So the city by train is like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And then if I'm driving, it's like 30, 35.
Interesting.
So it's not far. It's just, there's Manhattan, not Staten Island, but there's Manhattan, there's Brooklyn, there's the Bronx. So it's a lot. A lot to see.
That's interesting. Now, I've had a lot of guests on my show that is from the state of New York, not maybe necessarily New York City, but they've been in New York. So I always love to ask people, I always get people from different areas. So I'm always curious to see what it's like out there. New York, being one of the states I've really never been to. I've only been to the airport, which really doesn't count because I had a connecting flight to New York. So yeah, I always love to hear people from that state, that part of the state, to just kind of give me some insight. So it's always good to kind of learn uh,
Yeah.
from different people in different areas. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we're gonna get right. We're gonna get into the podcast. We're gonna do a podcast today. I'm telling y'all, I just love to be able to, kind of, open it up, with my guests, telling how they are and all the other stuff. So we're gonna get right into the podcast. Now, I did mention that she is a mental health coach. So obviously I want to know more about that. So I just want you to kind of open up about what made you decide to go down this route. Like just kind of, give us the details about what you do and everything like that.
Okay. So originally I wanted to be an attorney.
Mm.
I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to fight, I don't know, injustices. I don't know. I was 6 and I was like, I want to be an attorney. My brother was incarcerated. So I was like, I want to be able to help him get out, just stuff, right? So I did all that. I got my master's in criminal justice. Um, and I was there for like 10 years, working in courts and doing that type of work. And then 1 year I was working in a court with the youth. And I was like, I want to do more. I'm seeing these kids come in and out, and we're not really doing much for them while being in court. So what else can I do? So I was looking up some preventative stuff, and I found that there was some like alternative to incarceration programs, but I needed to be a social worker. So I was like, I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to do that. But I was like, but I really want to do this work. So I was like, okay, fine. I ended up getting into a school, which is how I've landed to be a school social worker. But I was in a school, and I was a dean. So it was my favorite job. I love the kids, love being in that environment with them. And then I was like, all right, let's go back to school. Like obviously the kids that I was dealing with in court were some of the kids that I was dealing with in the school. And I was like, there has to be more that I can do. There has to be more that can be done. So I was like, all right, this is it. I've been running from being a social worker for years, like years. And then I was like, let's just do it. So I went to NYU, graduated from NYU. And yeah, so recently more is when I've been more interested in talking more about mental health and what that does, and make it a normal conversation versus the stigma that's happening in the world. So yeah, that's the trajectory. That's where I'm at now.
Okay. So now, when you do this mental health stuff, like, are you particularly like in a school? Like, what type of environment is it? Like, what type of work environment is it?
So my job is I work at a high school.
Okay.
My many jobs, but one of my
Yeah.
jobs, I work in a high school. So I've been working in a high school for quite some time. And so I work with teenagers, dealing with their stuff and things like that. Um, and then I do therapy. I have my clients. My clients are adults, men and women. So I didn't want to do my client work, same thing I do as my job. So I want to break it up. But yeah.
That's interesting. I think that that's awesome how you wanted to do this to make a difference, especially in our youth. I remember you saying that you work with specifically teenagers, and as a teenager, trying to find your way in the world and stuff like that. Like you kind of deal with so many misconceptions from different people. Um, so like I just want to kind of know more about what that's like. What are some like issues that a lot of teenagers deal with, especially in high school, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, some of the issues that I've dealt with my teens is like incarceration. A lot of them have been incarcerated, have been arrested, and things like that. So that is that has been a part of it. And just like stuff that we deal with as adults, like anxiety, depression, not feeling like you're enough, lack of self-esteem, lack of self-worth, having a hard time trying to figure out classes and just studying and different techniques and test taking anxieties, like all the things that we as adults deal with that we just didn't deal with as children.
Mm,
Some of the things.
yeah. Okay. Seems like you got a lot. You got a lot at your hands. You got a lot of work to do. You know what I mean?
It's a lot. It's a good work. It's good work, but it is a lot sometimes. But it's still good work, you know.
You got a passion for it. Hey, I mean, it makes it easy, right?
Yeah, I enjoy what I do. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, I've like wanted to do that as well, like trying to make an impact in my community as well. Um, so yeah, I really love people who are doing it more than just like for themselves. They're doing it for a bigger purpose. And that also, kind of leads into my next question is, in your Instagram bio, you said that you specifically help Black and Brown people. And I know that there's a lot of stuff that happens in our race and stuff like that, and especially with the incarceration issue. I know you mentioned that because it seems like a lot of us, a lot of our people are always going to jail. Like that's probably who you see the most in the prison systems and in the justice system, everything like that. So just kind of talk about your mission. Like what do you hope to be able to accomplish when you work with Black and Brown people, with their issues and stuff like that?
Specifically, I want to work with women transitioning into life, right? There's so many things that women deal with during life, transitioning, marriage, babies, relationships, et cetera, right? And dealing specifically with Black and Brown people, it's because oftentimes, one, there's a stigma, right? That therapy or getting help isn't okay. So I want to be able to have more conversations and normalize that within our communities. And then there's lack of resources within our communities. There's not an equitable conversation based on mental health. Mental health is seems as it is a luxury, and it's only for the white people. And I want to be able to break that stigma and be like, no, therapy is for everybody, especially for our Black and Brown folks. The more that we're aware of ourselves, the better that we are able to be for ourselves and for other kids, for the future, for just the lineage that we've had so much trauma on. So that's where that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to give back to that community, to my community.
Yeah. And I think a lot of those, and I'll kind of, touch on that as well, is like, I feel like a lot of those mental health issues happen because of the environment that a lot of our people are raised in. Because when you, obviously, it's no secret, when you go to like the poorer areas of the community, who are you seeing the most?
Yeah.
A lot of African Americans, Black, Brown, whatever you want to classify them as. And that plays a lot, and that plays a role in how how they're able to think and stuff like that. So I'm sure you probably had cases like that, you know what I'm saying, where you've seen, the environment play a role in the mental health issue. Because I'm sure if they was in a lot of our people, a lot more of our people were in nicer environments, a lot of that stuff that they see, wouldn't affect them as much because they wouldn't be hearing the gunshots that happen at night. They wouldn't be having the one parent boy issues and nothing like that, or the whole I can't feed my family issue, you know what I'm saying? They'd be living more comfortable. So that I think that also plays a role in our community. And it's economic, it's an economic crisis right now.
Yes, there's lack of resources, right? Not everybody experiences like gunshots and things like that, but it's just a lack of resources. Like if we can just give equal resources that the other people are getting, we would be able to have a different conversation. If we had, things like food scarcity, like having healthier food choices, being able to walk down the street and seeing the like fresh fruits and vegetables or trees, and just the things that you see when you walk into the white neighborhoods. We should be able to have the same. It should be equitable. It shouldn't be well, this person has this and I don't have this, so I have to just survive. Like, I would love for us not to just survive, to actually like live and actually be a part of more than our circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just takes us to just kind of just step up and be able to fight for some of this stuff that we need, you know what I'm saying? Because like none of it's going to be given to us. Like as you can see, nothing has been given to us as a race. You know what I'm saying? I know this could make a great another episode for real. We could get deep into this because there's a lot of issues within our race um, that has kept us back. But I think that we just gotta.
Yeah, it's also a lot. It's like that conversation of like pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Like that's not realistic at all. Like we are not having boots to pull ourselves up, right? Like we are. If the white population is 10 steps, we are 10 steps behind. Like it's just how colonialism and all this stuff has had us.
Yeah.
So just, do the thing, bridge the gap, and then provide resources, provide equal resources, because it's not about providing the resources, it's about providing equal resources. And that's why I believe like that this population, my population, our population is the ones that need it the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so on the topic of, I know that we were supposed to be talking about mental health. Now we did kind of get off topic because we were discussing some issues because this is also personal to me as what I see. I actually made a video earlier about that, about how I think somebody asked me a question and said like, what have you seen or learned that has made your view negative about the world? And that was one of them, just seeing our people struggle and have to deal with that type of stuff from this world, from the government. And it's just like, man, seeing our people, under attack basically, you know what I'm saying? And that's basically caused us to live in fear, which also contributes to negative effects of mental health is fear. Because a lot of people live in fear, especially us. Like, I've been after seeing like all these different police brutalities and everything like that, and just seeing like the war on African Americans, it has really caused my parents to really be like, okay, look, like when you go out, make sure that you say yes sir, yes ma'am, all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so different now how we are raised to be able to do things differently than our peers because our parents are it just causes us to live in fear. So that really plays effect on our mental health as well. But
yeah,
I guess like what are some things that you do to make sure that your mental health is in check though? You know what I'm saying?
good question. For me, I try to make sure like I binge watch my TV shows. That kind of allows me to like disconnect at times, good and bad disconnecting, right? I try to go outside. That sometimes doesn't work, but I do try to go outside. I do try to connect with my friends, making sure that like we're FaceTiming or we're texting or calling. Me and my best friend, we share like podcast episodes. So she's always wanting me to listen. I'm just like, I can't listen to all of these, but just making sure that I have that connection with them, spending time with family. That is helpful for my mental health. Like when I am struggling, I'll go home to my parents and be like, can somebody take care of me? Can somebody make me some food? Or just wash the dishes. I hate washing dishes. I've learned and love my dishwasher. So it's like little things like my neighborhood. It's little things like that that makes me feel better and manages my mental health. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. I think that was interesting, man. Like you got me when you say you binge watch. Now I don't know if I necessarily could do that. Now, since you did mention that you binge watch, what shows do you be watching though?
So right now, I'm watching Tim Clancy, Tom Clancy. I don't know. I'm watching Jack Ryan. It's a I don't know, some CIA show. I don't know. I started watching the Michael B. Jordan movie, Without Remorse, and then that came up on Amazon Prime. Like, hey, you should just watch this. So I watched that. Like before, the last thing I binge watched before that was Vampire Diaries. I like teen drama. It's interesting. Like I enjoy my Netflix. It's things I enjoy. Like I enjoy young adult books. Like I enjoy that disconnect from my world and get into somebody else's world. So yeah, I enjoy binge watching because it's a lot to do. So I just binge watch.
And is that what you also like when you work with people, you know, and then trying to come up with strategies, is that one of them? You just say, hey, just turn on the TV and just watch Netflix.
My coping skills. This is my coping skills. It's not always a good coping skills, but for like my clients, I would tell them to go outside or tell them to do, if they like arts and crafts, like tell them to do something more hands-on. Some grounding techniques. I definitely would tell my clients to maybe meditate, maybe do a mindful walking, where you're able to see and feel the floor or hear the birds, hear the trees moving, like things like that. I will tell them to do to be able to ground. My choice of self-care isn't universal, you know. I do it to literally disconnect. So yeah.
Right. And I also, I think that's very important too. Is like sometimes, you know, we get caught up in the stresses like on social media. I think social media, I personally think, now I'm gonna help y'all out, man. I think if the best way for you to de-stress, get off social media. That's
Yeah.
real. I'm telling y'all, man, get off social media. Like she was saying, disconnect. I think you just need to just disconnect from technology and just spend time with yourself. Spend time knowing more about yourself. I mean, that's one of the ways. That's one of the things I do. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of just, you know, just focus on me.
Yeah.
Focus on like what are my goals? What are my visions? You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people, what stress them out is they see all these people on social media doing things that they wish they could be doing, and it's like you spending so much time on other people that you don't know what you want for yourself. You getting a skew reality of, you know, success and what other people are doing, but you're not realizing the type of work it takes to get there. See, people on social media, they try to show off and see and let you see what they want you to see, which makes people get jealous and like, man, I thought I was doing something until I saw this person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think, yeah, social media definitely has, you know, really made people feel anxious about their life and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And stuff and just worrying about other people. I think that can really throw people off is when they see people doing something that they want to do and they ain't doing it.
Even for me, like I choose, like for holidays, I don't go on social media.
That's good.
I stay off of it because it gets in my head about the way family should look, the things that family should be doing, and dealing with my own family issues. Like that is something that so I don't try to be on it. Like Mother's Day, Father's Day, it's just like it's unnecessary pressure to do stuff that nobody's talking about, but it's present. So I definitely suggest to your listeners, like, if you don't need to be on it, don't be on it for a little bit. It's okay. Like, you're not missing anything. Even if you feel like you're missing anything, you're not, because you'll see it. So, yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Yeah, just like stay off. I say stay off social media. I mean, I'm pretty, or at least put a limit. At least so what I do. So if you got an iPhone, now I don't know if you got. I don't know, you know, for the Samsung or the Google phone. I don't know nothing about that. But if you got an iPhone, there is a screen time setting in your settings. So all I gotta do is go to screen time, and I think you can like put a limit on apps. So what I do every night at 10 o'clock, I put it on downtime. You gotta put it on that. I'm telling y'all, I'm telling you, it works. You know what I'm saying? It works. I'm telling you, every night at 10 o'clock, I turn it off. I'm telling y'all, try that. If you disconnect yourself and you just focus on you, I'm telling you, you're gonna feel a lot better, man. I'm telling y'all, you're gonna be able to. Your mind is gonna be a lot clearer. You're not gonna be worried about people trying to come at you and stuff like that. It's just gonna be peaceful. And I think that's a problem. Is like a lot of people don't spend a whole lot of time with them within themselves. They're trying to
Yeah.
always look for people to praise them and try to be with them. It's like, nah, most of the time you alone up here. You alone in your head. There's nobody gonna tell you, there's nobody in your head. Because
Yeah.
a lot of that alone time is in your head. And if you can't really master your mind, it's gonna be hard for you to master. It's gonna be really hard for you to be able to go out and be confident in yourself and your abilities. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely recommend that. You know what I'm saying? For iPhone users, turn turn your phone off at night, or at least put a limit on it. Say, okay, I'm maybe 10 minutes down social media, then turn it off.
The
Then be
limit.
do something great. Go out and volunteer, do something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. I have a limit on mine. I mean, I turned it off for social media because whatever, but I have a limit. It turns off at 10 o'clock, wakes me up at 7. That's where it's at. Because if not, we just get too wrapped up. Um, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I know that during the pandemic, I'm sure business was booming because I know that there was a lot of people during that time who felt, especially if you deal with mental health issues, because I know personally from a friend who deals with depression, it hit them hard because that self isolation really can get to you. That can really play an effect on your
Yeah.
social ability and stuff like that. So during the pandemic, right? Like how how did that like impact your clients? Like when you was working with people over that time, like what are some changes that you noticed? You know what I'm saying? Like how did the pandemic impact like the people you work with and stuff?
Isolation was a really big thing. We as a society are not used to being by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and in addition to that, not having anyone around, not being able to see anybody, not being able to deal with, um, and not being able to deal with that. So a lot of things that were coming up for my clients were definitely like depression, definitely anxiety, and just trying to figure out how to survive this new way, working from home, dealing with the kids while working from home. So a lot of balancing, things like that was really where it was at when I was dealing with them. Yeah. For me, on the other hand, I struggled in the beginning. The first lockdown, I struggled. I was like, what is this? I don't want to get out of bed. I was in therapy, luckily. I'm still in therapy. But my therapist was like, it's okay. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't have depression. What are you talking about? She's like, but you do. And I said, but I get up, I take a shower every day. Like, what do you mean? So even me, right? Even me learning more about it, learning more about myself. Depression comes in different waves, different types of things, and you don't always have to like, the way like it shows up on in the movies, like, oh, they don't get up, they don't take a shower. Like, no, like I can still cry, I can still be sad, I can still be affected by it. So that was hard for me. But I maintained working out. I was working out the entire time up until like July, August, and I was like, okay, this got to go. I'm done with this. Luckily, I was with my family, so I had people. I know others didn't, but I had people around, so it wasn't as bad. And I was able to see my friends. We had Netflix parties. Like, I honestly, sometimes I wish we can go back. I had so much fun during quarantine because I was able to see, Zoom with my friends. We were able to have Zoom parties. We were able to like have Netflix parties and just, chill and hang out without having to be with people. So it was cool. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that goes in line with what I wanted to say is how sometimes you gotta embrace certain situations. Like you said, that. Now I don't know if I agree with you on saying I want to go back. I definitely don't want to go back to that. You know what I'm saying? But I think for you, it seemed like you made the most out of it. You know what I'm saying? You made the most out of your situation. And I think that's where a lot of people didn't realize is how even though you couldn't go certain places. I know that sucked. I wanted to go out to eat sometimes. I was tired of being in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see people, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I think when you look back on it, I think really that should have been the time where you basically self self develop yourself because you had nothing but time to
But
figure something out. Yes.
but it was a struggle for some people, right? And yes, that's like, and also like during that time, it was like, if you're not hustling, if you're not making a business, then what are you doing with your time? And it's like, I'm surviving, like I'm just here. I'm just taking it day by day. And for me personally, like I was able to get in tune with me. I was able to stop being fake busy, and just be in tune with what I needed. It definitely brought me closer to God. It definitely brought me closer to my friends. So that worked out for me, but not everybody has the same story. You know, people struggled and are still struggling because of the effects of it, right? Some people are, what is it called? An ambivert. So I'm good with people and I'm not good with people. Like I'm not an I'm an extrovert.
Oh, so you in between. I've heard of that term.
I'm
you
both.
in between, right? Uh-huh.
Yeah. So like I like people and sometimes I don't want to be around anybody. So and being in quarantine allowed me to be with people, but not be with people. So it was like, for me, it was a good experience. And I got to spend time with my family more than I ever have. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how you went about it. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, this life.
Yeah.
You're gonna face challenges no matter what. Not everything. It's not gonna be like no movie where something bad happens and all of a sudden everything good. No,
Right.
it's gonna keep happening. You know what I'm saying? Life is not a movie where it's like, okay, I passed this test. I'm gonna just live happily ever after.
Right.
That's not gonna happen.
No.
So I think that is where a lot of the great stuff happens. That's where a lot of the great ideas come from, is in the struggle. That's how I was able to, get this podcast together. You know what I'm saying? I had nothing but time. And I think a lot of people, before, it was crazy how a lot of people before were like, well, I ain't got time to do this. I wish I had time to do that. And then now you get time and then you like, I don't know what to do. Find something.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it was definitely a hard time, but sometimes I did nothing all day. I did nothing all day and just laid in bed sometimes, and I think during that time and even now, you just gotta listen to your body. Like listen to your body and let yourself feel it. And if it's meant for you to go outside and do more, then do more. But if it's where your body's like, nope, we're gonna sit here. Oftentimes I'm like, I want to go do X, Y, Z. My body's like, you think you want to, we're gonna sit down. So I sit down,
Yeah, for real. Yeah, no, I looked at that as like, self-development time to be able to figure out what do I want to do with myself. And that's where I just say, you know what? I'm gonna start reading. I'm gonna start reading, especially my Bible, start reading my Bible a lot more. I started like I said, doing these podcasts, start spending more time with family, embracing the time to have with family, start listening to motivation, started doing some that was going to be beneficial for me. So when I got out of it, I was going to be better than when I went in with it. See, if you just sat there and did nothing, then you just kind of got left behind, because everybody was basically in the same situation. Just some people just chose to do something about it, versus some people who just say, you know what, I'm just gonna wait and ride it out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, when you get out, then what? You just gonna be behind, because them people who was constantly doing something, constantly coming up with ideas to make it better, they're the ones that came out, better than when they came in. It's just all about perspective. It's all how you look at it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna challenge you and I'm gonna say this. Even if your audience didn't do anything, they did enough. COVID was hard. Being in quarantine was so difficult for every one of us, right? Every one of us had like different aspects of it, but you do what you can. And if you came out and you have a whole business, kudos to you, you did it. But if you came out of it and all you did was survive, man, you survived. There's people who didn't make it out of quarantine. There's people who didn't do it. They died from COVID, or they just couldn't deal with the pressures of what was going on, and they're no longer here anymore. Right. So but I do hear what you're saying about being motivated to do different things. But it's also important to just, for our own mental health, right? Like it's just important for us to just be good with where we're at. If it's making that money and making these businesses, like you started a whole podcast, like great. I couldn't record not one episode for my podcast. Could not record. It was difficult. So difficult to like grapple with what was going on and trying to talk about healing. Like it was not okay for me, but I had an okay time, you know. I enjoyed myself in a way. Yeah.
I think one of the things that I really got from my experience, was seeing the news, seeing the number of deaths, and I was looking at myself and said, you know what? God is good all the time.
All the
Because
time.
if I was alive, because you know what I'm saying? Like if you were alive and you made it, you blessed. You know what I'm saying? I said every day, because literally this whole pandemic taught you no, tomorrow is not promised.
Wow.
So if you have a opportunity to do something, do it now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people like to wait on perfect time. As you can see, there's no perfect time. You know what I'm saying? You may have waited to do something, and then all of a sudden the pandemic hit, and you're like, man, I wish I could have done that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like when you have the opportunity to be alive and still be breathing, you got to look at it as, okay, whatever I've been wanting to do, I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah.
If I want to start that business, I'm gonna do it right now. If I want to record, if I want to do a soundtrack, I'm gonna do it right now. Don't wait, because you never know what could happen. Don't wait for tomorrow, because, like I said, tomorrow's not promised. You don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. So
Mhm.
in that situation, I had to realize that, hey, I was blessed not to be in that situation where I was in the hospital or nothing like that. I had to be like, you know what? I had to look at it as, even though it stinks being isolated, it stinks that I can't go anywhere, it stinks that, I can't see my friends, but I just say, you know what? I'm still alive. There's something that God still wants me to do, and I'm gonna go out and do it and make the best that I can. And so that's how I
Yeah.
look at every day. That's how I look at every day now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that does resonate with me too. I think God did do a lot of work on me, and I think for me personally, like COVID quarantine was beneficial. Like I was able to get closer to Him. I had like Bible book clubs with my friends, like just immersing myself in the Word and just being um, more intentional. It just brought a different piece that I didn't know I needed. So yeah, it was
Right.
good.
Absolutely.
Good. Yeah.
Good to hear
Mm-hmm.
that. Absolutely. And as we're coming to a close on this show, I just want to kind of wrap up. Kind of still on the topic, but kind of not. But I just want to just know, for you, we did talk a lot about our experiences in quarantine and everything like that. What are some things that you took that you kind of still work on to this day? Or I mean, it could just be anything. You don't have to necessarily be from quarantine, but just in general, like, what are some things you do to try to work on yourself each and every day? Like, what are some habits that you get into?
Working out is one of them. I'm clear that working out helps my mental health. I feel better when I work out. And when I don't work out, I don't want to work out, so I don't feel good. So like getting myself into that routine again is, a process that I'm learning. And also like stop being fake busy. Like I'm not busy. Stop adding a bunch of things onto my plate because I can, because I have the space. Learning to say no, setting boundaries was a really big thing, especially being in quarantine with family. It's like, okay, so no. So those are some of the things that I continue to do today that I'm just, it's a work in progress, but I try my hardest to stick with my boundaries, try to work out. It's a process, but we're trying. Yeah, those things are what I've kept going.
Yeah. I like that. I like how you say you like to work out, because that's one of my things I make a priority every single morning. Actually, at least 5 times a week. I like to work out 5 times a week.
Yeah, no, I didn't say I liked working out. I didn't
But
say I
you do it. Why?
do it, but I do it because
Right.
it makes me feel better, right? So I
See,
3 to 4 times a week at least.
that's good.
Yeah, I need to I want to be in a more routine where I can do it in the morning. But like, so I have a Peloton. So I'm on the bike and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up early tomorrow. We're going to get this done. And tomorrow comes, I'm like, but I want to sleep. But yeah, it's mental health.
You gotta get up. Get up.
Yeah, I gotta get
after it.
I gotta get up. So it's it's a process. But I worked out today, so we're good. Like we're good. I did check it off. I got my workout done.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just like I've said this before. Now, working out to me is like my coffee in the morning. I don't drink coffee to get me going. I just wake up. This will shock you. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, go work out. I will shock you. You probably still sleeping at that time. It's still dark. But I love to get morning workouts because it literally gives me a boost of energy. Yeah, that is my version of 5-hour energy monster. Whatever y'all drink that you think is giving you energy, but all it's doing over time, you just crashing. Yeah. See, I create natural energy. I create my own energy.
Yeah.
That's just by moving. So I'm very passionate about working out. Like I said, I do it 5 times a week, getting a routine. I'm telling you, if you ever are stressed out, if you ever just feel like life has just got you up against the rope, you just don't know, like you just feel so bogged down with life. I'm telling you, one thing that I recommend, especially for your clients, take them to a boxing gym. Take them to a boxing gym. Put the gloves on and just start banging. You know what I'm saying? Just
taking the energy out.
I'm telling you, when I did it 2 summers ago, when I tried it, it really released a lot of stress that was going on. I'm telling you, if you mad at somebody, don't punch them. Don't punch that person. Just go take it out. Just picture their face on the bag and just start punching.
And then go to therapy after.
What'd you say?
Go to therapy after.
Oh yeah, they may be all right. They may be good. You might have to do a session at the boxing gym. Just have them just boom, hitting the bags and stuff. I'm telling you, they gonna feel that good.
No, go to therapy too. It's okay. It's all right. We can do both. It's okay. But no, I
be therapy at the boxing gym.
Nah. You gotta work this out, not the body. You gotta work out the mind.
But the mind is connected to the body.
Right.
Right. You see what I'm saying? Okay. I did an episode on that. I think it was like 2 months ago. I did Mind Body Connection. Go check it out. Because your mind affects how your body performs.
Of course, 100%.
So yeah, if you clear that mind up
with some therapy, you straight.
Hey, all right. Hey, look, listen. There's different ways to do therapy. It ain't just one way. I mean, you can do therapy. You can go outside, do some yoga.
Yeah.
You like namaste. You know what I'm saying?
Yoga was really, really, really beneficial for me. I love doing yoga. Like it's great. It has released a lot of. I've cried in yoga, not even knowing why. Like I've just bawled.
How do you do that?
Oh, the connection. The connection I had with just like the stillness. Released energy and just I cried. I've done it a couple times. It's just how it goes. And it doesn't always happen, but it happens sometimes. Yes, it happens sometimes.
Because I've done yoga before. I've just like felt like I wanted to go to sleep, especially when you hit the floor. You're doing child's pose. I just want to go to sleep. I'm like, man. I mean, it's relaxing. Don't get me wrong. I love how it relaxes you and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it just like for me personally, it just because I'm so relaxed, it just releases stuff that I've been holding in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, look, it was a pleasure having Miss Nelia. I got it right there. Nelia. I don't know how I set up. I thought it was Nelia because it's spelled Nelia. I'm thinking that's Nelia. Okay, but it's Nelia. It's Nelia.
That's not it neither. That's not it neither.
What is it then?
It's Nelia.
Oh, the E. Yep. Oh, okay, the E. I got the E wrong. So it's Nelia. So I was close.
Yeah.
It's Nelia. So the vowel. So the E is a long. Okay, it's not a short E. I remember that from elementary school. It's a long. It's knee, like E. I'm saying the E.
Like Neil.
Yeah. Nelia. Okay. Yeah. Man, that's the first time I messed up on the guest name. Nelia Escobar. Okay,
So,
got you. But hey, it was a pleasure having Nelia Escobar on the show. Very, very interesting conversation. Definitely gonna have to have her back on the show sometime in the future or whenever she wants to come back on because man, we could talk about a lot of topics. You can see in the beginning, we got it kind of got into a little bit of a discussion, you know what I'm saying, about our own people. You know what I'm saying? So we could do a whole episode on that, talk about some issues, you know what I'm saying? This affecting your life, man. It's a broad topic. We can talk about a lot of things, especially with her, because she has an open mind. So very excited to be able to have her once again. Definitely plan on visiting her in New York City or in New York, but we'll travel to New York City. She's not from New York City. She's from Long Island, New York. I don't know where that is, but we
right.
will take a bus trip to New York City, or we might take the train. We might take the subway. I never been on the subway. We might have to get the subway.
Stay in the city, you get an Airbnb or a hotel room in New York City or in Brooklyn, and you take your behind on that train and you go up and down. Make a list and you go up and down on the train. You're good. You'll get lost, but you're good. You know,
Hey,
it happens.
well,
I get
well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop at your place, and then we gonna go together. So that's what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna visit her up there in Long Island. Then we will take the train or the subway down in New York City. We're gonna have a great time. I'm telling you, we're gonna take some pictures. Uh, Now I'm a big food guy. I love food. So tell me, what is one of the best places you've had in New York?
oh, there's too many. There's just too many. I'm a foodie too. There's just too many. I can't.
So
I can't think.
I like
Oh, I
burgers. So give me a burger place.
can't. Five napkins. That's a good place.
You said who? Five napkins.
Five.
Five napkins.
Five napkins. It's like a diner type thing. They have like one of the best burgers.
Sound greasy if you need napkins.
Greasy. Yeah, it's good. It's good. But brunching in New York City is different. I am saying I've done brunching in Atlanta. I've done brunching in Houston. It's different. New York has a different vibe. We're different. So definitely brunch. Definitely all the good stuff. Yeah, you'll enjoy it. You'll have fun. Don't worry. You'll have fun.
Yeah. Like I said, your trip coming soon. Might go to something. You gotta do it now. You gotta do it. Just gotta do it when you got time. I would definitely
Right.
be up there. But hey, this your boy Chris Simmons coming to a close on the show, and I will see you when I see you. Take care. Peace.